What do you think about the development of the life sciences in, let's say, the last 10 years or as long as you can see back?
I'm, of course, a T-cell person, so I can see it mainly from the T-cell perspective. And I think in the past years, there have been really some huge developments. Also, when we think about certain therapeutic approaches, how we can use maybe these cells to treat certain diseases. So, but from my point of view, this is something that happened so far mainly also in cancer research. So there are really certain therapies going on that are remarkable, with remarkable success. But what we are mainly interested in is chronic inflammatory diseases, and there we are investments and research is lacking a bit behind. But I think we can learn a lot also from these fields. T cells, this is really be something that is involved in the chronicity also of these diseases because it generate also long-term memory. And for me, this is something we should tackle and figure out also what these cells really react to in different chronic diseases. And this is really a challenge, because in chronic inflammatory diseases, we do not know the antigens that are recognized. We really need interdisciplinary approaches. And this is where Kiel Life Science really comes into the focus for me, because we need expertise also from other fields like the microbiome research, like the metabolomics, like maybe also artificial intelligence, genetics, where all these things come together and we can tackle really this problem and understand better what T cells react to and how they are also modified by these different areas.
Can I ask you, does KLS offer you all what you need, or are there certain aspects, infrastructure, other issues which you would like to have to get even better support than you have right now?
I think the support is quite good. I really, as I pointed out, I like the different fields and also the different views on the things. I think when we really think about how we can translate this in the end into cellular therapies and clinical studies, so it might be useful to have additional support and also expertise. If you think about generating antigen-specific regulatory T-cell therapies or CAR therapies and really want to go into these directions, I think in this way also additional expertise would help for the translation in the end.
Can you specify that a bit better? I mean, additional expertise, you want to have more colleagues and scholars from this field around, or what do you mean with that?
So because if you, in the end, I mean, when we think about we want to construct a certain T-cell receptor, right, that we think is therapeutically useful, we also need the expertise how to do that. And this is let's say, outside my research field.
There's a saying, it needs a village to raise a child. And so maybe you have born now the child, but what you're missing is still the village around you. And is that, do I understand that right?
It goes into the direction, right? Because one always has a certain expertise, and we are very good in maybe identifying disease-relevant T cells and maybe also disease-relevant antigens. But then we also need additional expertise to maybe go really into therapeutic approaches. And this could be on the one hand, of course, collaborations with certain companies, but it could also be something to build up as a research focus really in Kiel.
You are now fully established and got just a new SH chair and highly recognized here in this area here. Where does your research go in the next few years? What are your plans? What is your vision? Where you personally now want to develop your research?
We are really very much focused on the interaction of T cells with the microbiota, because we think that this might be really a key in chronic inflammation. But we try to understand it also from a much broader view, because I really think the interaction of the immune system with the microbiota is a very special one, because we have kind of to tolerate the microbes because we also need them. But at the same time, the immune system has also to control them. And this adds a very high complexity for me, because we have really a huge number of different microbes. We have a very complex immune system, and how these things come together. This is something that really fascinates me and that we want to understand. So first of all, how this interaction really takes place in the healthy situation, in the homeostatic situation. And then we want to understand what actually goes wrong in the chronic inflammation, how this balanced immune reactivity is somehow broken. And I think this can deliver us really very specific intervention points that could really be targeted then later on with certain therapies. So on the one hand, when we can define the disease-relevant antigens, we can, of course, think about how we can eradicate them if it's kind of part of the microbiota. And then on the other side, we can also think about developments, how to change or target the pathogenic T-cell responses. And I think this is really a very important field, and it could really lead to the development of very specific treatment approaches that can really target disease causes and not just like general suppression of inflammation, how it's currently also done.
Where do you see the life sciences and in your field in the next five or 10 years? How do you see the field developing?
We really have to figure out specific mechanisms that are altered in the interaction of T cells with microbiota in chronic inflammatory diseases. And then we have to really go the next step and translate it into clinical applications. And this is a difficult part, I would say, because of course sometimes you make like a very exciting observation in basic research, but then to really translate these findings into the clinic, this is a really hard part. And I think we have to take this challenge, and it could really lead to further enhancement of therapies of the patients.